So I like Keytars. I really do. And, some people think they look gimmicky, cheesy, or maybe a bit impractical, and they might just be right. But despite that, I still think they're pretty cool. And I've always wanted to own one, but I've never had the courage to muster up the kind of money I'd have to buy some of the cooler ones like the Axe Edge or, God forbid, the Liberation. Because the second I start entering that sort of price range, I start stepping on the toes of other cooler analog synths I'd rather own, like the Moog Grandmother, for instance. And I'm sorry, if it comes down to the Axe Edge or the Granny wins every time. Like, it's not a competition. So instead, I decided I would build a Keytar. Now, at first, I seriously considered building one from the ground up, oscillators and all, but sort of quickly decided that, considering I'm already building a full DIY modular synth from the ground up, which is already taking up a ton of my time, it's probably not a good idea to start a whole new ground up synth project. So instead, I opted for the simpler approach. I'm instead going to convert an existing synth into a Keytar, much more straightforward. But the question remains, which synth? Now, I have a bit of a confession to make. I don't really enjoy using the Minilogue a whole lot. Now, don't get me wrong, I still think it's a great little synth, and if you're just getting into synthesis, but like analog synthesis, I would still highly recommend this as a first synth. Like, I used it. It's a great learning tool, and even if you're not a learner, it still makes some great sounds. I'd still highly recommend the synth. There's just sort of a few minor details that sort of stack up for me, which don't make it the nicest experience for me personally. Now, to be honest, most of these points are probably nitpicks at best, and at worst, just plain stupid. But hey, I'm a stupid guy. So, things like the mini keys, some of the design elements like the black knobs with black indicators, functions being hidden in the menus, the patch memory being accessed via a rotary knob, the location and quality of the mod slider, they all just sort of compound for me. So I was actually looking to sell my Minilogue, even had it up for sale online for a while. That was until I realized it's slightly broken. Specifically, one of the 4 voices doesn't properly track filter motion. Here's what it should sound like. And here's what the broken one sounds like. No idea why this happened or if there's any reasonable fix out there. I couldn't find one. But it basically means that the synth's only really reliably good for lead sounds with the filter wide open. Perfect for a Keytar. Saying that, if anyone does know a fix to this or how to properly disable one of the voices, please do tell, because I would like to fix this at some point. So in the meantime, I'm turning it into a Keytar. For the design, I'm taking inspiration from a Keytar design Neil Cicierega made. Big fan of his work, and I think his Keytar looks neat. That, and I've already got a spare guitar head lying around, so... Anyway, on that, let's get to work. And here it is, all complete. think it looks pretty good. You know, I realize it's not the most complex build ever. It is, after all, just a headstock bolted to the back of a synth. But, you know, at the end of the day, it does the job. I've got my Keytar. Now, I didn't include it here because, well, to be honest, I got lazy and didn't really want to wait weeks for parts to arrive. But I do want to add a touchpad going up the fretboard here at some point to control the pitch bend. I think it'll really complete the look. But for now, this will have to do. And I don't know about you, but I think it looks pretty damn fantastic.